Hello and welcome. My name is Dan Meyer. I'm Editor-in-Chief of RCR Wireless News. Thanks for joining us today. Today I'm joined by Sukesh Garg, who is the Director of Product Management for the Cloud and Virtualization Group at Cisco. Sukesh, thanks for joining us today. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much for having me.
Great. Well, I want to touch a little bit on today. I know you guys rolled out the new Prime carrier management product, kind of targeting the mobile space. And I guess I was hoping to get some background on that from you guys, and maybe we'll touch a bit on an actual deployment that you have too with a carrier partner. So maybe if you touch a little bit, I guess, on the product itself, kind of how it fits into the Cisco platform, and maybe how it's designed to help wireless operators.
Absolutely. So Prime Carrier Management is essentially our flagship product for managing multiple carrier networks. And what I mean by multiple carrier networks is really from a cross-domain perspective. You've got the access, you've got the core, and then you've got the data center where you may have virtualized workloads. So having a common platform from a service management perspective across the multiple domains, that's what Prime Carrier Management basically represents. And this product, or this suite of products, allows you to manage not only the mobility applications in a mobile infrastructure. So what I mean by that is the MMEs, the P gateways, or the S gateways, but really the underlying infrastructure, the transport infrastructure, if you will, being the carrier Ethernet and the optical infrastructure as well, through a common suite of products. So really, it truly provides you that unique platform to get a view of how your services are being delivered through the SP infrastructure.
Gotcha. And it seems like, obviously, for wireless operators, I mean, networks are becoming more and more complicated. A lot of cases, carriers are running multiple technologies, multiple vendors. So it does seem like these types of platforms that can kind of come in and help a carrier, I guess, more easily manage that. It seems to be a pretty useful tool, I guess.
Absolutely. In fact, that's one of the areas where we have a clear differentiation. I mean, contrary to the view from some of the other players in this space, we take a different approach. We truly recognize that our customers' infrastructure is multi-vendor. Mm-hmm. Being multi-vendor means that you have to interoperate with their products for really an end-to-end service, to really deliver an end-to-end service management product. And from that perspective, we do provide support for multi-vendor products through the Prime Carrier Management Suite. So a case in point is that some of the regular players that you would see on both on the optical side or the carrier Ethernet side, or for that matter, even on mobility perspective, we do provide support for all third-party devices.
Gotcha. Now, I guess in developing this product specifically for the mobile environment, did you guys work with different operators on this, or I guess how was the process in actually developing this product?
So yes, I mean, we work very closely with a lot of our, I would not call them customers, I would call them partners, if you will. And the reason why I call them partners is because we take a very different approach when we are working with our partners. And the approach that we take is to really focus on what their business problems are. Mm-hmm. So what are on a regular basis, we try to understand what are the most important or most critical areas where they would need, that would help bring value to their businesses. And we really then take that input back and help them solve their business problems. So that has been our approach from day one. So, and to that effect, that's the reason where we decided, or we've actually embraced multi-vendor support wholeheartedly.
Gotcha. Now, obviously, as a company like Cisco, you guys are a pretty big player in the telecom space. So obviously, I guess it helps also in the fact that you probably are working with these companies on various projects over the years. And so obviously going in there with your background, it probably makes it a little bit easier for them to trust you guys coming in with perhaps a new product suite to help them manage the services too.
Right, exactly. I mean, we do have a history, if you will, with several of our customers, if you will, in helping them deliver new services and all. And case in point, in the case of Exatel, if you will, that's exactly the area where we help them we try to understand what their business problems are. And specifically, what we did over there was that we went in there and we said, what's their biggest challenge? At that point in time, they were looking to roll out services for a specific vertical, and went in there and we said, okay, what are the challenges that you have in that specific vertical? They cited two big ones, two key challenges. First of all, they wanted to be able to get the agility to roll out services in that particular vertical. And the second area was that they wanted to do that at a cost or at a cost point that was feasible, economically feasible for them. So with these two key business drivers, we actually went back and we said, okay, let's look at how we can help them be successful, and we worked with them in partnership to make sure that we were able to deliver the services for Exatel in their environment.
Yeah, and I know obviously I think you guys have a white paper on this deployment as well too, for people who might want to get some more information on the deployment there, working with them in Poland. So obviously it's a pretty big project. But it does, I guess I'm sure the scalability of this is also probably a big key. I mean, obviously, different operators, various sizes, they have different platforms, looking at different types of deployments. How important is the scalability of this type of a suite for I guess going with your different partner carriers?
So that's a very good question. I mean, in fact, some prime carrier management is pretty much, I can confidently say, deployed at the top carriers worldwide. And they are actually using them to manage a wide variety of devices. So the volume is actually pretty critical, but breadth of services that are being managed by prime care, by the suite, if you will, it's pretty extensive as well. So not only are we able to manage in the order of hundreds of thousands of devices, but we are able to actually manage the same, or if not far more number of services that ride on that network infrastructure.
Gotcha, good. Does it seem like carriers are being a little more open to kind of using these suites, these software suites, to kind of help manage their networks? I mean, obviously, with the move to LTE and all IP networks and things like that, there's definitely more complexity perhaps in the network initially, and obviously software seems like a good way for these carriers to more cost effectively and quicker to kind of alter services. Does it seem like carriers are becoming more open to not just throwing more hardware at a solution now, where it's now becoming maybe more of a software centric type of solution to fill all these deployment issues?
Absolutely. I mean, in fact, I would say that prime carrier management today, as I said, manages both your access and the application and the data center. So on the access, I'm really looking at the mobile backhaul. Yeah. So you can carry Ethernet infrastructure seamlessly through prime carrier management. If you have an optical transport tier as well, that can be managed as well. And then really the mobility environment, as you mentioned, the LTE environment can be managed through prime carrier management as well. The actual physical ASR 5Ks, if you will. And if we need to actually manage the software functions, or the network, virtual network functions, if you will, that ASR 5K, we are not talking about another platform. We are actually talking about the same platform. So a key value that we are delivering through the Prime Suite is being able to manage both physical as well as virtual. And that becomes pretty critical when you're looking at bringing down the total cost of ownership, because SPs are under a lot of our partners are under pressure, tremendous cost pressure, if you will, to really roll out services a lot faster, but at a lower cost point. And they're embracing network virtual functions in a big way. And we are right there standing next to them, making sure that as they undergo this transition, we are there to support or manage that infrastructure, if you will.
Yeah, and obviously with these rollouts too, I mean, obviously there's a lot of cost involved, like you said, and so if there's a way for carriers to reduce their rollout costs, that's a big thing. But also, if they can drive more revenues out of these networks quicker, that's also a nice payoff for them at the end of the day as well, I'm sure.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, it becomes particularly interesting when you talk about when you talk about M2M services. Mm-hmm. So M2M services, if you will, are normally the revenue structure is such that it is not at the same level, if you will, compared to traditional voice or data. And if the revenue structure is not that high, then you need to ensure that the cost structure matches it, and that's where prime carrier management plays a big role.
Yeah, and obviously, yeah, in the M10 space, I mean, the margins there are so much slimmer than they are in the traditional voice market. That's right. It has to be a much cheaper rollout for those to even make sense. And obviously, as carriers start to tap into kind of the Internet of Things, as everybody's calling it nowadays, that is definitely, it seems like a lower margin market to go after. And so, yeah, obviously, make sure you kind of watch the bottom line a little more with those deployments.
Exactly, exactly, exactly.
That sounds good. Well, again, like I mentioned, I know you guys have a white paper on this deployment as well for those who are looking for more information on this. But again, Sukesh, I definitely appreciate the time and the insight today on this. I'm sure we'll talk again soon on the topic. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thanks.